Hello RC friends, welcome to Props and Wheels and yet to another episode of unboxing and flight review of an ultra micro park flyer from Banggood.com. What do we have here today? Let's find out. By the way, I'm joining you from our summer vacation, only 3 days this year, and I just received like a couple of packages just before leaving for our vacation, and instead of just letting them wait at home, I decided to bring them to our vacation, and I'm planning to do 3 unboxings, 4 flight reviews in 3 days. So you may have already watched the video from yesterday that I made here of the Eachine F4U Corsair from Banggood. And then here I have another one, and I'm just going to get started with the unboxing. Let's see what we have in this box. I'm assuming that this is one of my favorite models, but in micro size. Get this one out. It says the Legend Warbirds Series 400. 400 stands for, by the way, for 400mm wingspan of these. And these all come ready to fly with a 6-axis gyro, actual 3-axis gyro, 3-axis accelerometers, and 1 key aerobatic key button. And they could be one of these. Mustang I did not order yet, but F4U Corsair I reviewed yesterday, and I will put the link in the description of that video. And T-28 Trojan, one of my favorite airplanes in larger sizes, and now I have the micro size. Yes, it should be that one. Let's open it up. They packed it pretty good. It's a good thing. I don't want the package to open during shipment. And by the way, I love these handles because it makes it so easy to carry when you are just taking one plane to some place and you want to put it on the back of your car. Yes, it is one of my favorite airplanes. T-28 Trojan. Now people call this warbird. I don't call it a warbird, although it is a military bird. But T stands for trainer. I believe the Trojan came after the World War II, and it was used by Air Force as well as the Navy for training their pilots. And I have a larger version, actually 2 of those, the Park Zone T-28 Trojan with 1100mm wingspan. This is just the baby of it. Yeah, I have 2. One, this color scheme, white, red, and black, and the other one is the gray color scheme, which I got used for my older son Bora, for him to practice on a 4-channel airplane. And the original Park Zone, that one was one of the first 4-channel airplanes I trained on, and it has a special place in my heart, and I still own that intact. It got fixed a couple times, repaired after some damage, but I'm still flying it and I still enjoy it. Alright, so what do we have here? I'm just going to get everything out of the box to give you a detailed look of what to expect to get when you buy one of these. So you get an extra prop, that's a spare propeller. And by the way, I mentioned in my previous videos, but these models, I love one feature of these models, that the propeller pops off. If you hit the ground a little hard, it pops off. It has a special little adapter that you just line it up and it clicks in. And in the flight never comes off, but it hits something. If you don't stop the throttle or propeller from turning, it just pops up and you put it back on. It saves a lot of props. It also saves the motor, the gear, because there's a, as you can see, there's a gear inside. So the motor is driving a plastic gear, which is white. If you can see here, I'm just trying to focus on it. So this is the metal gear over here, which rotates the white plastic gear on top that's connected to the propeller shaft. The motor on the bottom, small little tiny little brushed motor on this one. This is a 4-channel airplane. So I love that prop saver. I believe these are manufactured in the same factory manufacturing base as the Volantex RC Sport Cup 500, which I have reviewed extensively in my previous videos, because it has the exactly same setup. Also, the controller looks very similar. What else do we get? And in this box you get a battery charger, a handy dandy little flip screwdriver, and you get the landing gear, the front and main landing gear. These go underneath the wings, these two, right and left, here are the locations. And this one, it's like with the little suspension in the middle, like a coil suspension, goes in the front. And then you have to make sure that you don't lose this. This is the second half of the prop adapter. If you managed breaking the one that's on the motor side, attached to the motor, not to the prop like this one, you have an extra one. And then they give you 4 of these little screws. And from my experience with the other Corsair, use one here for each the rear landing gear, and then I'm assuming that the third one is going to be used for the front landing gear. Very nice package indeed. And this was on promotion, so I think I got this for like $62. I will put the description below. It just came out at that time, and there were certain numbers. If you signed up early, you got a special price for a certain number of these. And I immediately signed up when I saw that. It took a couple months to ship out because it was not out yet. The Corsair has a very similar batteries that will fit in here as well, so I can use them interchangeably. This battery is 1S LiPo battery. Let's look at the capacity. It's a 400 milliamp hour battery. If you need more, I think you don't have to buy it from from Eachine. You should be able to find these on Banggood at different brands, or from eBay, no-name brands. So it shouldn't be a problem finding these inexpensively. So next, what I'm going to do is charge this up, and if I cannot do the flight review tonight, I'm planning to do it tomorrow morning, as long as the weather is nice. While the battery is charging, let's set up the rest of the airplane. Next, I'm going to install the landing gear. So these landing gear go under the wings, and if you can see over here, there are these plastic pieces, and if you look closely, you will see a little hole on that side and a larger hole. The larger hole is where the screw goes in, and there's a thin slot here. So when you are installing these, let me put this one, because I like this side facing out towards the tip of the wing. So you have this L-shaped wire, and then the short end of the L goes into that hole. Basically push that one in, and the long side of the L goes into the slot, and then you just have to fasten it with one of these little screws that goes into a larger hole. Okay, the tip of this one is not good, so I'm really having trouble putting this one on. So I have another one from my Corsair. I'm hoping that the tip of that one is a little better, because this is not doing the job. It's just going to strip the little screw. So I'm going to stop and get the other screwdriver. Here is the one from the Corsair kit, and I hope this has a better tip. At times like this, I miss my tool set at home. Yeah, this is not going well. I just don't want to press too hard, because so I'm going to take this screw off. I think the head may be already stripped from pressing too hard. So I'm going to just leave this one and then use another one. There is one extra, so I'm hoping that I'm going to have enough screws for this. And by the way, when you are screwing these in, it is very difficult to come straight down because the landing gear is kind of in the way, so you have to get really close to that. Let's see if I can manage it a little better this time with this screw without slipping. Start slipping, but I'm pressing hard. And I think it did the trick. Okay, so this landing gear is in place. As to the second one, yeah, be careful not to strip this off or get the black piece out, because this torquing the little screwdriver puts a lot of stress on this one. Okay, the hole for this one, for this little tip, is on the back, so it goes in like that. There's a slot, and then there's another hole on this side for the little screw. If I can have enough coordination to put all together, that will be great. So I'm going to use another technique. I'm going to start the threading of the screw first here into this hole. So I start up the screw. The screw is just maybe 10% in, and now I can put the landing gear in from the side, slip it into that hole, and then tighten the screw. Keeps coming off. It's not a great design, by the way. Okay. The front landing gear is in as well, but it is a little loose. I don't know if it's going to hold well. I tighten the screw as much as I can. I just don't want to over tighten, because otherwise it's going to strip the plastic. So this is the best it gets. It's a little wobbly. It just goes right and left a little bit. The little T-28 Trojan is on its feet now. I still have one spare screw, and now it's time to put the batteries. Oh, by the way, this model came with 2 batteries, and then the second battery is hidden in the battery compartment of the transmitter. So 2 batteries. I think it was a great deal. This takes 4 AA batteries. This turns on. What I'm going to do now is, although this is not charged, should have enough charge to get it started up. I'm going to put the battery in, turn on the transmitter, connect the battery, and see if everything is working. So the motor is working, and it's in beginner mode. So on these transmitters, there are 3 switches. This switch is 3 ways. All the way forward is the beginner mode, they call the 2. And then you push it away from you, it's in the mid mode, I call it intermediate. And then you push it away, all the way away from you, and it's expert mode. So my experience with this kind of stabilization on the Sport Cup 500 as well as the Corsair has been the beginner and mid modes are very, very stable. And as soon as you go to expert mode, you have to have really fine reflexes and small movements, and you will be controlling all the time. Okay, so let's check control surfaces. Right aileron, left aileron, elevator up, down, rudder right, left, motor. Everything seems to be working fine. In the beginner mode, it should give us a stabilization, so you can see it is trying to resist the turn. So if it goes like this, just going to bring the right wing up, and then also the rudder is controlling as well. And then in the expert mode, you don't have anything. There is nothing moving. It's a manual control. It turns off all the stabilization. Everything seems to be working well. So the next step will be charging both batteries and then get outside and do the test flight, the maiden flight. It is our 3rd and last day here today. Unfortunately, the weather is not that good and the wind is blowing like crazy, as you can see from that little flag. It is unfortunate. Unfortunately, the weather did not get better. Hence, I ended up postponing the maiden flight, which will be featured in the next video. Thank you for watching. If you like this video, please hit that thumbs up button and consider subscribing to my channel so you do not miss the upcoming RC aircraft videos. Enjoy the hobby and stay safe and healthy.